Tigers, Bulldogs, Saints. Welcome to DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Good morning from, I guess, the basement of Smithville First Baptist Church. DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Tom, Kelly, Coach, Casey. Wait a minute. Kelly, Coach, Casey. I'm the oddball here. What happened?
Get with it, Tom.
It's
all in the spelling.
We'll have to change my name to something else. But anyway, it's good to be here this morning, and we got a loaded show today. In about 15 minutes, we're going to start talking some golf. John Pryor, the head coach of the Lady Tiger golf team, scheduled to be here, and a couple of his players we hope are going to join us this morning as well. Lady Tigers went up to Sevierville, and up and down, I guess, a little bit. A good weekend, or a good couple of days, I should say, for Chloe Boyd. Coach, I know you've been in that situation before. You and I were monitoring scores, I know, the whole way. And what's kind of your take from the couple of days from what you saw?
Well, it's the first time in the season that these kids are going to go up to that number one tee box and have their name announced in front of for golf, a relatively large gallery.
Yeah.
Because typically, people will follow on a local course and they'll hide behind the trees and they keep their distance and all that. But it's a little closer at the state. You get that name announced and off that first tee, and everyone's watching. It's not a shotgun start, and the nerves get you. Mm-hmm. And if you're not prepared for a bad shot off that first one, and if you can't recover off that, then it can quickly snowball on you. And it was so great listening to Chloe a few weeks ago when she was talking about the mental preparation that she goes through. And I think that probably helps. And looking back, maybe that's something I should have done with ours, because they still talk about the nerves and the jitters off that first tee. And it's very stressful because, every shot, every stroke matters, not just for you as an individual, which you obviously want to play well, but as a team concept.
Right.
And because, a shot basically can hurt you twofold.
Taking a look at her as a sophomore, and she finishes 4 over for the 2 days, or 5 over, I think, was 4 over yesterday, was 1 over after day one, and I think tied for third. How impressed are you by that? And you talk about the poise we saw her just display in talking to her. She seems like she has a lot of confidence, and seemed like she played with such at the state tournament.
When I first started following on Thursday, she was 13th. Mm-hmm. And it depends on ties and things, so I didn't really look at how many strokes back she was. But then I checked back in, and she's like 5th. And then I checked back in, and on the 13th or 15th hole, I think she's leading.
Yeah.
By herself.
She was.
Solely. And so for a sophomore against perhaps older, players, it's very stressful. And you realize, and I'm not sure she was even aware of the other scores. Mm-hmm. If she doesn't want to pay attention to that, she won't know. Now, if she wants to get glued into it, she can find out. But just her presence and her poise to just kind of continue and to grind through some difficult holes, especially on Friday. Top 5 finish, and I went back and looked at this years ago, and you were considered all-state if you were in the top 10. And for her to be 4th, that's just fabulous.
Great effort for her, certainly. As we mentioned, she finishes 4th overall among individuals. Tough start for Allison Paws in her last state tournament appearance, a 98 on Thursday. But, Coach, she rebounded to an 82 on Friday, 16 strokes better. The atmosphere has to get to you. I mean, you've talked about nerves and such as that. You feel like maybe that was kind of an issue right away off that first day, but she really improved on day 2.
First day with your nerves. And I think it was more nervous for Chloe the second day, since she's still in contention. I mean, she's right there at the top of that leaderboard. So she was still having the pressure of those shots. You shoot what Emily and Allison shot on Thursday, and you come in on Friday, nothing to lose. It can only get better. And so a lot of the pressure is off of her at that point, and she can relax and she can play. I know she's probably still disappointed in 18 strokes better than what she did on Thursday. It's still not being good enough. Mm-hmm. This is a girl we talked about that won the region. and came in with high hopes and high expectations. So for her to rebound is great for her and speaks volumes about her character as a golfer. And I've just recently learned that she now has an interest in playing collegiately. So I think John's got some work to do, and her parents to try to get some schools interested in that.
So the DeKalb County Lady Tigers, as a team, they end up finishing 6th overall as they, over 2 days, had a 325. They were 5 strokes out of 5th place and actually shot a 156 yesterday, and I think that was the 4th or 5th best team score. So they really shook off, I think, the first day. Emily Anderson, same thing, kind of shook off a rough first day, came out and played better. We'll talk to John Pryor and the girls about that coming up here in just a few moments. Let's recap some things going on. Casey, I know you were listening to the Tiger football game last night, and DeKalb County went up to Crossville to take on Cumberland County. And it was a lot tougher, I think, than many folks may have thought it would end up being. DeKalb County wins at 28-21, and I think they're down 14-7. Our producer, Daniel Leslie, I missed it all last night. I had a birthday dinner. So, Casey, from what you heard, though, what are some of your takeaways from the game last night?
Well, this is one of those games where you look back on at the end of the season and you say, you tell your kids, you know what, at the end of the season, all anybody's going to see is that W. So you kind of got to go with that. It was a region game. I think traditionally Cumberland County has been one of the weaker region opponents that we have. I think Coach Trapp is 9-0 against them all time now. But it's like Tennessee, Florida today. You know, everybody, you know, on paper you should go in down there and tear Florida up and their coach be fired at the end of the day and all the fans burn the stadium down. But it never happens like that because, you know, it's Tennessee, Florida. It's a conference game. And so, you know, for this team who is of course, they have the leadership in the senior group, but is really kind of it's beginning to be a younger team starting this year. It's a good learning experience. I think Coach Trapp takes this back Monday morning and tells them, hey, I feel like y'all looked over this one and was looking forward to White County and Upperman to close out, and this is why you can't do that.
I think that's a great point. He talks about a trap game.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, bye week coming up, and then you've got White County and Upperman, 2 huge games, the leaders in 4A. And so when you talk about the possibility of overlooking and coming into spring break, a lot of obstacles in the minds of these 15, 16, 17-year-old kids that the coaches really can't control.
DeKalb County gets fall break this week and the bye week. In everybody's opinion here, is this a good time for the bye week? Is this a bad time with 2 huge games coming up at the end of the season? And we spoke about this a little bit last week. How much does fall break create distraction for what you're doing if you're Coach Trapp?
I really think it unless he changes what he normally does as far as the practice schedule goes on fall break, it won't change a bit. He's liable to practice all week long, just like a normal game week. With it, but normally it lines up to where fall break and that bye week don't align like it has this year. So he may do some different things this year, but no. Anytime you can get a break, an extra week to prepare for Alabama and Florida, it's a very good thing. So
Coach Trapp's going to look at it as if they've played 3 bad games in a row. 3 weeks in a row, his Tigers have not showed up and performed to his expectations, to their expectations. Let's take the Trapp factor out of it. To their expectations, this Tiger pride bit. And so it does come at a great time for them to, and Coach Trapp and the staff, to regroup, reset, refocus this football team because they still have control of their destiny. It's in their hands, and that's all you can ask for going into Week 9.
Week 9, though, is a must-win. They've got to beat White County to even make the last week even matter. So it's a big couple of weeks for DeKalb County as they get ready for White County. Even a win there doesn't guarantee that they're in the playoffs. They may have to win the last week anyway, but they've definitely got to take down White County to have any shot at the playoffs whatsoever. Kelly, we've been talking volleyball all year, and they wrapped their season up in the district tournament with a loss to Upperman, and again, a growing season. And I know you're a little bit more familiar with some of the volleyball team and players, and had a chance to talk to assistant coach Johnson and some of her players a few weeks ago. A building block, you got to start somewhere, and I think the volleyball team, I think they got a lot better as the season went along.
The whole talk has been, from everyone I've talked to that's went to games, that has seen them play, is that they're going to continually get better. I'm sure that when Coach Bond started the softball program, I don't know, they didn't know, they probably won just because this is a baseball softball town, and girls were used to playing softball. You have to take a sport that these kids may have played at church camp, and it was very unorganized. They hadn't seen it a whole lot, I'm pretty sure, in PE classes, just because we don't have the equipment. I know at my school we don't. I'm sure at the middle school they don't. So these girls have took a sport that they've really never played, and they've competed. Now, I don't think they ever did win a match. They won some games, and they didn't win some matches. But just to be in the hunt, to be in the fight for it, shows a lot of character, shows a lot of work that the coaches have put in. I think a lot of what they need to do is some strategizing, and I'm not faulting the coaches on that. The girls have to learn that. There's some strategies to volleyball, how you want to play things, how you want to recover from things, how you want to face opponents, play defense, play the offense, the aces and stuff like that. I think the mental game is where they, and the coach said that the mental game is where they're needing to improve. And I think we'll see that the more they play, the more that they will improve. And I think you'll see good things out of there. I think they only lost, 3 girls?
Yeah, I believe that's all.
So it looks like they'll have a good team coming back, and hopefully we'll get some wins in that column next year.
You're a coach, and you've played several sports. The off season, how important is that going to be? Camps, clinics, learning the game. I mean, continuing to learn the game. How important is that going to be?
Well, it is important. And college coaches will tell you this. They want you to play other sports. I mean, most of the times when you see professional players, they play other sports. So these girls that I'm not sure how many play. I know a couple of them play basketball. These multi-sports, that will help them. I'm not sure all of these girls play different sports, but learning to be a team, working together will help them. They do need to have some, I hate to say it, if you're going to be good at something, you got to get into the travel ball. And golly, travel baseball and softball is expensive. Volleyball is so super expensive because they only carry like 6 or 7 kids 7 to 8 kids on a team. Tournaments are super expensive because you're renting facilities. So travel volleyball is very expensive to get into. But if these girls will stay together, and if the coaches can keep them together, and maybe, I'm not sure what TSSAA rules are on their practicing, but if they can keep them together and just still scrimmage each other off and on. But the off season will be important. I feel like if they can get a good spring and summer workout, that they will be. But gosh, it's hard in our county because we're so small. You're having to share those athletes with softball. You're having to share them with soccer. You're sharing them with volleyball, cross country. I mean, there's just not enough of them, and these kids want to do everything.
Yeah.
And you were talking about football in the bye week. I don't know about you could probably speak about your son. My personal kids, but my basketball kids, they have been so tired at practice. Like, we've not been getting a lot accomplished because they're so tired. I'm so thankful for fall break, and maybe that will help the football team bounce back because these kids are, they're going a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Through the school week, and I know with football they go till 6:30, and that's just a lot on kids. I mean, I know we used to do it all the time, but we didn't test and take AP classes and have all the things that they have going on either. So hopefully the off season for volleyball will help them. The off week for football will help them bounce back.
Kelly, you have touched on what's going to help the volleyball team, and I'm going to urge and encourage Teresa Jones at the middle school and Patrick Cripps, our director, to get behind and establish a middle school volleyball team as quickly as possible. Whether you're coaching it or not, it doesn't really matter.
I can guarantee you it's not going to be me. I do not have the time. And it all comes. I drive a school bus, so I took on the responsibility of driving a school bus. So I just don't have the time.
Excuses.
Hey, if they want to pay me what I drive the school bus to coach, I will more than happy do that. But I'm pretty sure they're looking for bus drivers. We need bus drivers too. But Rachel Desimone is sitting at the West School, and she played college volleyball, so she would be the person they need to go after to start that junior high program. She'd be perfect for it.
It needs to get off the ground, and Coach Horton is going to be a much better coach when she has freshmen coming in that know a little bit more than what this entire team did this year. And we talked about it, football, baseball, basketball, it doesn't matter. Without a feeder program, teaching basics before they get to that higher level sport, you're, spinning your wheels.
All right, we got plenty on the program today. Bottom of the hour, Chad Ramsey is going to join us to talk a little bit of tennis. We got Max Patterson, the first-year DCHS band director, who'll be joining us in the 9:45 segment. When we come back, though, let's talk some golf. Let's talk some state tournament golf. I'm excited. John Pryor in the house. We'll be back. This is DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Teamwork, accountability, honesty, showing respect, dependability. These are all qualities that I began learning as an athlete growing up in DeKalb County. Hi, this is Tennessee Assistant Golf Coach Payne Denman. Whenever you're looking for a teammate that has your back, look no farther than my friend Grant James and the team at DeKalb County Insurance. They can help out with all your business, auto, home, life, or Medicare insurance needs. Give them a call today at 615-597-0660 or visit them at www.decabinsurance.net. Tell them I sent you, and as always, go Vols.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
At First Bank, when our customers bank local, they get more. More empowered. More informed. Local banking gets them closer to their goals and dreams because they work directly with bankers who know them. With less layers and more personal connection. We're a local bank brand that goes the distance to get customers where they want to be. Which is why we got into banking in the first place. Stop by First Bank at 200 West Main Street in downtown Smithville, or give us a call at 615-597-4366. First Bank. Bank local. Get more.
Tennessee Fleet provides automotive sales and installation of equipment, lighting, vinyl, graphics, accessories, and more. Some of our services include sales and installation of vehicle graphics and decals, car audio, custom wheels and tires, storefront window wraps, fleet and commercial equipment, car, boat, and ATV accessories. Learn more about the services offered at Tennessee Fleet by visiting our website, TennesseeFleet.com, or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy tractors are born from the legendary Bad Boy mowers from 20 to 35 horsepower, subcompact to midsize. Bad Boy combines power, performance, comfort, and as always, builds strength to deliver the workhorse dependability you need to get the job done and done right. Homeowner, landscaper, or rancher, there's a Bad Boy tractor for you to work with an attitude. Find your Big Boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
Hey, we got a couple of brand new sponsors on board with us this morning. Want to say thanks to First Bank. They're closing out the fall sports season and also jumping on board for the winter sports, or basketball if you prefer. So welcome aboard to First Bank. Also want to thank Ranger Brake. Ranger Brake, made right here in DeKalb County. They're made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world source brake lines so they can meet all levels of their market demands. It helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. By providing qualified products that are tested in the U.S., Ranger Brake, they're doing their part to keep it safe out on the roadway. And Ranger Brake, they're proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics and DC Blitz. Welcome them aboard as well. Let's welcome aboard John Pryor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You got the hat and the pullover, and
I'm sitting in an orange section today.
You got it.
I didn't want to change clothes. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go, and I told them earlier. Every time I wear Tennessee, anything on Florida week, we lose. So I'm banned today from wearing any orange. Although I did
that's
try.
Like saying every time I wear underwear when we play Florida, we lose. So I'm going to stop wearing underwear. Come on, Tom.
Don't give me any more.
Come on, Tom. Fly your colors.
Oh, me. We're going to fly some black and gold colors this morning, though, because our Lady Tigers went up to Sevierville, and I think a pretty good showing. I know day one. I'm going to get your thoughts on day one. Chloe Boyd, of course, came out, had a great showing, won over at the end of the day. But I want to start out with the other two girls in Allison and Emily, a little bit older. And was it the nerves? They kind of got off to a slow start. What was it that kind of made them struggle just a bit out of the gate?
It's a very tough course. Let's start with that.
I've heard that, yeah.
And there's a couple of holes you hit in the wrong place and it'll eat you alive. Mm-hmm. And Allison is a streaky golfer.
Yeah.
When she's on, and when she's off. And she just started with a double bogey and compounded that with a double bogey, and she couldn't get off the double bogey train, which is really unlike her. And she struggled up there last year. It is a tough walk. There's a long way between holes, and then it starts to get hilly, and it is very taxing on them. And, I told her after day one, I said, look, this course got you last year, and it got you today. I said, it's got you 3 times. Tomorrow's your last round as a high school golfer.
Yeah.
It's Allison's revenge. And, I was so proud of the way she bounced back. She shot a 98 the first day and an 82 the last day.
Yeah.
And she really muscled through that. And I was really proud of her. She birdied the last hole, and, she had a great career for DeKalb County, and I'm just so proud of her. I didn't want her to beat herself up because I know she's real competitive. And so, we were there, and, once you fire a 98 and we have to use that as a score, any thoughts of the team championship are out. But there, had she shot 82, we still would have been about third or fourth.
Right.
So, she's such a great kid, and I know she was disappointed. Emily, she also can play better. She shot a 98, a 93. We were laughing yesterday. She had like a 2 and an 8 and another 8 and then like a birdie.
Yeah.
She had 2 birdies and 2 8s. But, I think the good thing for Emily's got a year left.
Yeah.
And I think she sees the areas of her game that she needs to work on. But, she was bombing it out there. She hit a lot of good drives. And, I'm really expecting her to make a big jump. From last year to this year, we shaved 35 strokes off of our team score.
That's fantastic.
So much more competitive this year. And, I want them to have fun and make memories. Emily was at the indoor water park, and Chloe went shopping, and Allison probably did all that too. And Sarah Bass, whose father used to be the minister at First Baptist, she went to preschool with Allison and Emily, and she plays for Stone Memorial.
Yeah.
And they were excited to spend time with her. And so, winning it was a long shot. And, I hope they're all proud of themselves for making it there 2 years in a row.
Absolutely.
But my mantra as the golf coach is have fun and make memories. And I think they'd made some memories.
Allison, we've kind of come to the understanding maybe she's starting to look at prospects of playing collegiately. Are you getting that sense from her? And what do you see of that?
I heard last week after she shot a 71 at the region was the first time she had mentioned she might be interested in playing further. I didn't want to follow it up this week because I was afraid she's going to throw her clubs in the Little Pigeon River there after round 1. I was afraid as part of my duties as coach, I was going to have to fish them out. But she definitely has the ability to play college golf. If that's something she wants to do, we can talk about that more.
Awesome. And we wish her the best as she moves on from her high school career. And again, I was just really proud for her to go out yesterday and shave off those 16 strokes. I thought she had a great second day and just didn't let what happened on day 1 really get to her. Of course, we're going to talk about Chloe and the strong start she had. She had one hole, John, yesterday. It looked like it really tripped her up on 14 there. What kind of happened there?
Yeah, she is a par 4, and she hooked her drive, and it went into the red area, so she had to take a drop. And the cart path was an issue. Her drop would have taken place on the cart path. And so there was a rules official it went right over the rules official's head. And so she let her through that, and her drop was not good. She had to chip it out in the fairway, and then she missed the green, and she tripled. But, Chloe has a good clear the mechanism kind of mind, and she parred like the next 6 or 7 holes, I think. And so she did not let that bog her down. I saw her late in the round, and she hit one in the water on a par 4, and then she took a drop and hit it in the bunker and then chipped it up, and she made a bogey. And, she's in the thick of things. I'm thinking she might be dejected. She's like, Coach, I'm so happy. I just hit it in the water in the bunker and made a bogey. And so I was like, go get him, Chloe.
She doesn't get rattled, does she?
Man, she works so hard, and she is and that – to be honest, one of my favorite things about coaching takes place when we get to the postseason is to watch these parents work with their kids as a team, because it becomes sort of a team event. And Chloe and her parents, Dan and Mariana Boyd, they work great as a team. Tony Poss and Gina, along with Allison, and then Jamie and Holly Anderson. It is so fun to watch them at the practice round, because they get to coach. We were up there and they were putting and they were pitching balls back and chipping, and these fathers were helping their daughters, talk about, well, you may be in this situation, you may be in that situation. And even with the boys back in the district and the region, when we would go scout a course, and their fathers would go with them, and they'd all get in golf carts. I just sat back and watched, and they were having them a day, and I hope that these kids appreciate the lengths that their parents have gone through, because it's not like basketball or football where dad gets out there on the practice field and starts getting in front of the coach and saying, "This is how you block," or whatever. It's really a team thing, a family team. And, my players have benefited from great family support. And I can't tell you how happy and warm that makes me feel to see such an effort. And, those daddies get to push those push carts up. There's one hill. I mean, you need a mountain climber's license. And I don't have one. But they will allow the parents on that particular hole to push the cart. Yeah, and so it's work. I'm here to tell you, it's work.
We get a special treat today because we got former coach and current coach, and we get a little golf to golf coach speak going on here. Chris, I know you've got questions.
As your girls tee off and they get out on the course, the last one's teed off, what is your responsibility, your role as a coach from that point forward?
Well, at the state tournament, there's a big to-do when they introduce it. So I want to see them all tee off, and I try to film that to preserve it, but the parents are doing a good job. But once they get on the course, we used to, when you were coaching, we weren't allowed to talk to them at all, really. They changed that a few years ago where I can talk to a player when everybody in their group finishes a hole and before somebody tees off on the next hole. So between green and tee, I can talk to them. And at that point, I'm not saying, hey, play it a little bit off your front foot. You're playing it too far back. I don't do any of that. I'm just like, how you doing? Great job there. You need anything? Sometimes if they have had a bad hole, I try to make small talk and, ask them what they're going to do. Are you going to the water slide tonight or whatever? So on the course, I just make sure if they're, getting thirsty or dehydrated or anything like that. But, it's minimal what I do on the course. And their parents are always ready with drinks with they mix powder, protein powder, whatever they're putting in the drink. I don't know. The Boyds put
that
like this.
That explains birdie, quadruple bogey, birdie.
The Boyds take this water and they put this something in it. I don't know, and they hand it back and it's purple, and it's go-go juice. But Chloe was fantastic this week. Her expectations, she's a goal setter, and she wanted to come in 10th. Mm-hmm. She wanted to make the top 10, and she came in 4th, and she led it for a while. And she, after day one, in the morning it's like 50, 48 degrees, and then in the afternoon it's hot.
Yeah.
And she's been out there early on the range, and we finish, and she's walked this mountain, and she goes to the driving range for 2 more hours. I mean, she is committed, and her practice paid off. And, you were talking about travel league and all that. Chloe and Bradley Hale on my boys' team, they both have benefited from playing in, like, SNEDS tour events and Mid-South. There's another tour event. And when they were younger, I think some of them used to go to Cumberland County's got a golf capital summer tour. And, when they do that, I think it helps deal with the nerves of playing in a high school match becomes just like playing golf.
Sure.
But playing in like the district or the region tournament or even the state tournament is a little more normalized. I mean, I would be a nervous wreck if I were 17 years old and I was playing golf with 3 guys that I didn't know from other schools. I would be so self-conscious about, I better not top it. They'll think I'm terrible. And, these kids, they benefited tremendously. And so, just like everything else, I think if you want to be a really competitive golfer on the high school level, you've got to get in some of these summer tour events.
Well, you mentioned that. I think Chloe and Bradley played the week before state, did they not? A weekend and won an event.
They played in a 2-man scramble or a 2-person scramble, and they were 10 under, and they whipped a bunch of people, and I didn't even know they were playing in it. I think Craig set it up, and he kept sending me pictures, and I was like, "What is this?" But it was down at Tim's Ford, and I love it. The fact that some of my players, are partnering up to take on all comers, and so that's great. And so Chloe's just a sophomore, and she'll be back next year, and Bradley's going to be a senior, and he'll be back next year. So. I'm really excited. I think I would be surprised if we're not at the state tournament again next year.
If I'm out of bounds, just tell me, and we'll back
You're
up
out of bounds.
and we'll go again.
Hey, I saw a golf
gonna-
ball the other day that said, I identify as being in bounds. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
After Friday, scores are in, disappointment on different levels with your girls. What do you tell them?
I just told, Allison, it was her last go-round. I just thanked her for being on the team, and I just told her how much I appreciated her. And, I said I was proud of her for the comeback because I know she was disappointed with that first day. With Emily, I said, you know what we got to work on. And, I think she's got a plan. And so, I'm proud of Emily. Emily works hard. She plays by herself a lot. She goes out there. And, she's a golfer. And she's played in the third spot most of this year. And our golfers are so good, she ends up playing with some golfers that aren't as good as her. And, she has to watch a lot of bad golf. And but she has such a great attitude. And I just am so appreciative of getting the opportunity to work with her. And Chloe, I said, Chloe, we got 2 more years. Let's win one of these. And she said, if we win it, you're going on the giant swing with me. And so I made a commitment to her. I said, listen, if you win next year, you'll probably have a new coach the next year because I'll be dead. But there's some swing up there where they crank you up and let you go.
It's fine. I've done it a couple times. You'll be fine. Just close your eyes.
I'd be like you, John. I think I'd be dead.
No, you'll be fine.
Whatever it takes. She doesn't need the motivation, but she got her camera out, as all kids do, and she filmed me making that promise that I would get on the big swing with her if she won the state championship. And, she's driven. She sets goals and then blows them out of the water. One of her goals was to get her handicap down to like 7 this year, and she's already like a 2.6. So, I just stay out of Chloe's way.
I'm so glad Payne didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Boy,
glad.
You would have been in some trouble.
Oh, yeah.
There aren't giant swings over there in Murfreesboro.
We'll have you bungee jumping before long.
Oh, no.
I think
We'll take you ziplining.
we'll have to take the
He's
show
underneath.
out
After
to,
you were signed as the volleyball coach.
No.
We'll have to take the show there when John does that so we can do it live and get the reaction. Well, John, it's been a great season for the golf teams. The boys, I know a lot of growth there. You mentioned Bradley's coming back, and I know you got to be excited about them for next year as well.
William Blair, Cooper Goodwin, Jamison Troncoso, Abram Kogler, Carson Trammell, Silas Kirksey. Those guys are all coming back. There's more out there on the team, but I think we should have a strong lineup. Seth Fusen was the senior boy that played the most for me this year.
Yeah.
And he really came on. I was really happy for Seth. Seth's been on the golf team for 4 years. He hadn't played in a whole lot of matches. He's a really good athlete, and I know he's going to be a great golfer if he continues to play because he's limber and he swings hard and makes good. He just got to fine-tune it.
Yeah.
And Coach Braswell works with him a lot. And so Seth has been sort of – I don't know that he's taken it. He hadn't put a whole lot of time into it, but he's been on the team, and I was glad to see that it all started to come together. And he shot a 86 at the region with like a quadruple bogey. But it was great to see Seth come around and get to experience that because that is really one of the neat things I like. I like those big tournaments where a bunch of schools there and they're all got their colors on. And the state tournament makes them feel it's like a PGA event kind of where they have shuttle buses and all these marshals and volunteers, and it's a fantastic thing. And even when it was at Willowbrook, I thought the TSSAA did a great job, and it makes the kids feel special, and that's what I love is because it's memorable.
It is special.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, Chloe and Allison and Emily need to look at how many other kids from DeKalb County will play in a state tournament this year.
Yeah, I know. And we were in they're changing golf. We were in big school, which there's no good way to do it. I'm not going to complain, but we're playing against schools with 2,700 kids. The biggest schools in the state, Collierville, I think is the biggest. They got like 3,200 kids, and we got 800 and something, and we're in the same division. But next year we go down to small school, and so who knows? they're great golfers everywhere.
Yeah.
Sophie Linder was at Gordonsville and won the state 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
And so, everywhere you go, there's going to be somebody good. But I'm excited to see what the new horizon looks like with the new redistricting of the golf. But, I've got a strong boys team, and I've got a strong girls team next year. And, hopefully we go back to state. I'd like for some of the boys to go. One reason I'd like for the boys to go, because if you've got – there's 2 courses, and the boys play on one course and the girls play. If you've got boys and girls there, they will let you get a golf cart.
Priorities, right?
I need to get you a Segway.
But I know what'll happen is they'll find me in the ditch on number 7, and my parents will be driving my cart around.
John, it's been a great season. We congratulate you and the teams, and we're already looking forward to it. I'm very excited about next year because I think you're going to be back, and I think it's going to be a great year for both squads. So thank you for taking time out, and your players. I got to brag on your parents because since we started Blitz, they keep us informed, and they've been very great to work with, getting us information. You mentioned the Boyds and the Andersons and the Posses. All have been fantastic. Craig Hale. Every time I see Craig, he's dropping a nugget here and there. So your parents are awesome, and we appreciate them.
It's I love it. I mean, they're great, and I love to see them. They get so excited about their kids, and it's really a different kind of parent child sports interaction.
Yeah.
And I'm just so proud of all these kids, and I'm so proud of the opportunity to spend time with them. And I appreciate their parents for entrusting them to me. And I try to do my best to return them uninjured.
John, get to Knoxville, root on them Vols, and bring us a victory tonight.
I'll do my best.
All right. John Pryor, DeKalb County High School golf coach, joining us on the Blitz. We're going to talk some tennis. Chad Ramsey's in the house. We got Max Patterson also coming up to talk about the DCHS band in just a little bit. This is DC Blitz, and we're presented to you by DeKalb County Insurance.
Teamwork, accountability, honesty, showing respect, dependability. These are all qualities that I began learning as an athlete growing up in DeKalb County. Hi, this is Tennessee Assistant Golf Coach Payne Denman. Whenever you're looking for a teammate that has your back, look no farther than my friend Grant James and the team at DeKalb County Insurance. They can help out with all your business, auto, home, life, or Medicare insurance needs. Give them a call today at 615-597-0660 or visit them at www.decabinsurance.net. Tell them I sent you, and as always, go Vols.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at decabtitle.com.
There's nothing like homegrown. Around here, nothing grows better than local businesses and families. It's because starting on common ground makes things just shoot up. Just look at those neighborhoods and business districts. Around here, it's always growing season.
At First Bank, we share your hometown and your love for our community. That means you get down-to-earth local lenders who get down to business faster. First Bank. Bank local, get more. Member FDIC.
At Home Services, we work with both residential and commercial properties to provide many services, specializing in dump truck delivery of rock, dirt, and other materials, driveways and parking lots, excavation, finish grading of yards, erosion control, snow removal, and more. Plus, septic tank installation, repair, septic tank pumping, and porta potty rentals. Learn more by visiting our website at homeservicestn.com or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
Just like the excitement of the big game, life is filled with unforgettable moments. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that when the final moment comes, you want to honor those moments with dignity and care. here. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding solace in a time of grief, our compassionate staff is here to provide the support you need. Trust Love Cantrell Funeral Home to guide you through with respect and professionalism. Love Cantrell Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of DeKalb County Athletics through 3 generations. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy Mowers' legendary reputation for strength, performance, and value is now available with Bad Boy tractors. From mid-size to subcompact models powered by 22 to 35 horsepower water-cooled diesel engines, your tractor work just got real easy. On the farm, the ranch, or even around the house, Bad Boy tractors deliver power and durability all day, every day. Bad Boy tractors work with an attitude. Find your big boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
Back on DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. We also want to thank Ranger Brake, who offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world source brake lines so they can meet all levels of their market demands. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the United States of America. Brand new sponsor on the program. We want to thank Mark Pritchard and all the folks at Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all athletics throughout DeKalb County. We are set to talk tennis for the very first time on the program.
That's right.
And DMS middle school coach Chad Ramsey, and I should say also assistant high school coach Chad Ramsey joining us today. And you got a little familiarity with this building, I think, too.
Yes, this is my full-time is the pastor at First Baptist, and my part-time is a tennis coach. So there you go.
What kind of got you interested, I guess, in tennis and wanting to coach, be a part of the programs here in the local school system?
Well, I remember back, I was their age. I was playing middle school, and I grew up in Knoxville area, and we had a middle school team, and really fun time doing it. Got to enjoy it. Was learning how to play, and was more of a baseball guy. And then I hurt my wrist 1 year, and still have a little effects from that. But I looked at the tennis racket as just a larger baseball bat, and had a lot of fun with that, and realized that, difference of playing the outfield and getting a ball once every 2 innings versus getting a ball every single stroke. And I guess my ADD kicked in, and it was something that I could just have a lot of fun with, and it just stuck with it. Played all the way through high school, went to college right before I hurt my knee, and but just had a passion for it. Been able to coach in Texas and Kentucky, where we've had different stops along our way with our ministry, and really have enjoyed, just love being around kids and being able to coach and give back to the community and such. So, yeah.
DeKalb County High School's had a tennis program for a long time, but we did not have a feeder program. What kind of got that started? Just what was there a need? And kind of like we talked about with volleyball, did somebody finally, hey, we need a feeder program? And were you kind of part of that beginning there?
Yeah, actually, Coach Cadle, who is the high school coach for the first 2 years, he had the middle school program, and he was doing that. And eventually, I'm not going to lie, I had last year. This is my daughter Abby. She was in it, and I was coaching the high school stuff while he was doing the middle school stuff in the off season. It was off season for us for high school, in season for middle school, and So I was having to go back and forth to see some of their matches, and so we had a conversation about just switching roles during the off season. So I became the head coach for the middle school, and he's been doing the off season conditioning for our high school program. But about 3 years ago, we began to realize, like, hey, we're having all these freshmen, sophomore. The tennis team was doing well, for the first time, and we couldn't remember. We were going to the district championship. Only the top 2 teams get to go to districts as a team in tennis.
Yeah.
So if you're one match off, you don't get to go. It's not like everybody gets to go.
Sure.
And then out of your district, only one team gets to go on to the region, unlike other sports. So it's a harder path to keep moving on than some sports. So you have to make sure you have a good feeder program with that. And we began to realize we have a lot of kids who wanted to play. They enjoy the idea. But we'd have a sophomore or junior coming out, and we're teaching the kid how to hold a racket.
the very basic fundamental.
Very basic. And, and we were able to fast track a lot of that, but we got to the point to where this isn't long-term successful. So we realized we needed a good feeder program, and we started that about 3 years ago now. It's our 3rd year. There's a wonderful middle school program in Rutherford County. They play at the Adams Tennis Complex down there, right next to the golf course, and it's just a beautiful facility. It's half owned by the city, half owned by MTSU. Just a beautiful facility for tennis, and we get to use that and play. All of our matches are played there. We play. Most of the schools are from Rutherford County that we play, but there are some schools like us who are in surrounding counties and districts. So yeah.
You were talking about some of the teams of Rutherford County and just the competitiveness. How much does that help your program playing against some teams that are pretty well established already?
Oh, yeah. Like, for example, we played one school, and we did really well against them. Our boys swept them, completely swept them, which is a huge deal because Lennon was on the team last year, and Lennon knows it was rough last year. We might have won one match last year.
Yeah.
And like this year, we were right about 500, if not over 500. And even the ones that we didn't win, we were competitive in. And so huge growth within the program. Several players had come back. Even the new players were growing. But playing a team that was where we are in skill level is great. But playing a team where they've been playing since they were 3, 4, 5 years old, and then you get to see, like, well, this is where the cream of the crop is, and then you get to compare yourself. And also, I love about our guys and our girls, they're competitive. They have fun. They enjoy. Trust me, the van rides there and back are priceless. Priceless. But while they're there, when they win, they get super excited. And when they lose, it's, they get frustrated.
Sure.
And I love that aspect because they're pushing themselves as competitors. And to play some of those older kids, more experienced kids, they see that's what Coach meant when he said, do it this way. They get to see a visual of that. And then by the end of the season, they were doing it, and they were competing with some of the best kids in the state, which that's one reason we play over there, because we want to make sure they're seeing hard, good competition.
We do have 2 members of the DMS tennis teams, Lennon Salas, an 8th grader, and Abby Ramsey, a 7th grader. Lennon, I'll start with you. What do you love most about tennis?
Well, it's very competitive, and it's fun.
Yeah. What got you interested in the sport of tennis to start with?
Well, I just wanted to try something new.
And that had to have been a challenge, right?
Yeah. Just
a totally new sport?
Yep.
What have you found to be the most difficult thing to learn about the sport?
My backhands.
What makes that hard? I've played tennis. I know backhands are not easy, but what do you struggle with most with that, you think?
Oh, well, it just feels awkward because you have the hand with both hands and then go back. It's just awkward for me. I don't know.
How's your serve look?
Good.
Good? Have you had it clocked? You know how fast?
No.
No?
It's pretty good.
I was going to say, I bet it's pretty good. Abby, what do you like most about the sport?
I like how they get to play, and it's really fun just learning and experiencing it with other people.
Do you enjoy the fact that it's moving all the time, or does it kind of wear you out after a while?
After your first few matches, it gets a little wearing you out, but it's really fun.
What makes it the most fun to you, do you think? What part of the game itself makes it the most fun? Because you're kind of by yourself out there. It's not like, some sports you got a team, but you're sort of all by yourself out there. Does that make you nervous sometime?
Not really.
What's your favorite shot?
My forehand.
Your forehand? What's the most memorable shot you've had all year, or point you've scored all year?
I had one shot where I brought it up and I just whacked it straight over the net, and the girl couldn't get to it in time. And
so you came in on the net and
smashed it.
Smashed it.
Lennon, what about you? What's the most memorable shot you've made this year?
I don't know.
Do you have a memorable match? Like you beat somebody, like you couldn't believe you beat them, or you were super psyched that you beat that team?
No, not really.
No, not really. You're him. You just beat everybody.
Yeah, I can tell you it seemed like the bells went off, or it all clicked for him. We were playing, was it TFFA, and they had their number one out there, and he went toe to toe, and up to that point it had been, he had some close matches, and we still didn't get the W, but he went all the way to a tiebreaker 8-8, and it was like 9-7.
Yeah,
but you should have seen the points these kids were playing.
Wow.
It was like right on the line here. Right, you're like, wow, that's impressive tennis, guys. You guys are doing really good. So,
is it easier to play a game where you have good competition, or is it like? Well, I guess I'm saying, I know in basketball and in softball, you kind of want to play somebody that's better because you can you have better shots. The ball's coming back at a speed where you can work with it. Is that what you have found, that you like playing the better schools so that you can show some of the improvements that you have made?
Yeah, I like playing the better schools. It's like if I play the bad schools, it's hard for me to I guess learn. It's like if I go against better people, I can learn from that. So
you learn, see what you can accomplish.
Yeah.
Do you take things that you learn from see your opponent make a shot, roll his hands, do certain things? I need to try that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Cool.
Do either of you watch collegiate or professional tennis?
No.
None at all?
No.
Wow. I just love watching tennis, and I know a lot of people say tennis is bored on TV, and some people it is, but I've always enjoyed it. It's fun to watch.
It's been funny. Like we have had some. I had one parent, the Tobits, Sam Tobit plays, and I remember the parents were telling me the story that they went home and here they are, big Tennessee, big soccer, big basketball fans, and here was Sam telling them, like, Mom, we have to watch the U.S. Open. It's on TV. It's like, we got to turn on the U.S. Open right now. So, and she says, something must be clicking because we watch tennis for the first time in their life. So, yeah, you do see it start to click with some. And like you were saying, like how you feed a kid when you're practicing, we feed them like the correct way. Or we also teach the kids how to hit a serve the correct way. And then it is, as a coach, it's frustrating because you see some of the other players and other teams, like they're just getting the ball in. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're doing the job. But, our kids are used to hitting a ball back a certain way, which will pay dividends for them once they get into the high school realm, because that's all they'll be seeing when they get to that point. So, yeah.
DeKalb Middle Coach Chad Ramsey is our guest here on DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. What do you find maybe is the most difficult thing to teach right off the bat, to get the players acclimated to?
It's the serve and the toss. I would say definitely, like, it's just like volleyball. Like if you don't put the toss in the right place consistently, you're never going to start a point.
Yeah.
If you can't start a point, you can't win a point.
Right.
And so we have to go through that, and it's so complicated. If you bend I don't know if, and I played other sports, but like in tennis, like if you bend your elbow the wrong way, if you hold onto the ball for the slight second too long, the flight of the ball allows you to go from like an okay serve to a good serve. Well, if you hit an okay serve, then the other opponent can smash it on you, and then you're toast.
Sure.
So that's probably the hardest thing, because that's one of the most important things. And for them, I know it's got to be the most boringest thing. It's just to work on a toss. But at the same time, it's the most important shot that you have. they all want to go, let's hit a forehand, let's hit a backhand, let's go play. And I'm like, yeah, but if we can't start a point, we can't win a point.
Right.
So that's probably easily the hardest part. And that's not just middle school. That's also carries on over into high school. That, for kids to realize, like, you got to be consistent. It's a sport of repetition.
Sure.
And if you don't have that repetition in there, you're never going to be successful in it. So,
Abby, what's the one area of your game you'd like to improve on most before next season?
I feel like I get into my head a lot, so
Yeah.
I would like to not get in my head.
I think it's like golf. Tennis is a very mental sport. That's one thing that if you get rattled a little bit, you're really off your game. So that makes a whole lot of sense. You look forward to playing in high school?
Yes.
All right. Lennon, what about you? You got plans to play in high school?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We're working on it. He's also a soccer player, and they have the same. So don't
That's
tell the
right.
soccer coach, but we're working on him. So.
We'll keep that on the down low. We appreciate y'all coming out, talking some tennis with us this morning, and look forward to next year. How many kids you got involved in the program? I didn't ask that.
Oh, we have. So this was great. For the first year, we had a full girls team. So we actually had 7 players.
That's great.
None of them. It's a young team.
Yeah.
No eighth graders. And then on the boys side, we had 11, and then we had two eighth graders who stayed with the team the whole season of the 11. So we had that, and then but even on that, both teams were really, really young. Our 2 and 3 and 4 spots was peppered with some 6th graders who have come a long way. Got a good 7th grader in there too. So really excited for the future of the program being even more competitive than they were this year. So,
And I know it's going to help the high school on down the road as well. So looking forward, hoping y'all both stick with it, and looking forward to seeing you down the road at the high school level. Coach Chad Ramsey joining us. Thank you so much for coming out this morning. Folks, when we come back, we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk some band, the DeKalb County High School Fighting Tiger Band, their first-year band director, Max Patterson, and some of the members of the band in the house. We'll do that when we come back. This is DC Blitz. We're presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change a car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent is DeKalb County Insurance. Get a quote today at DeKalbInsurance.net.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at ErieInsurance.com. Go to ErieInsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
Hey, Sam! Who said that? Cheryl? What are you doing up there?
My bank always leaves me up in the air. I'm still waiting for an answer. Oh, darn birds.
Well, switch to First Bank. They have fast local decision makers and the latest banking products and digital.
Whew, what a relief. I'll call First Bank. When I was up there, I saw a branch near me.
First Bank never leaves you hanging. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
Ignite HVAC Electrical and Plumbing offers both residential and commercial sales, installation, and service. We want to set ourselves apart from the rest of the heating and air industry by providing a seamless experience from your project start to finish. We also offer duct cleaning, which will help improve the performance of your unit. No job is too large or too small. For any heating and air, electrical, or plumbing job, give us a call at 615-597-0100.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Want a mower that's tough enough to break all the rules? Want everything without sacrificing anything? Want performance for the long haul at an unbeatable value? The perfect balance of power and performance? You want a bad boy mower. Packed with power, muscle, simplicity, and comfort the pro and you demands. It's your time. You deserve a bad boy. Bad Boy Mowers. Mow with an attitude. Find your big boy mower at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
DC Blitz, and we're presented by DeKalb County Insurance. I want to thank Grant James of DeKalb County Insurance. They have also come on board for the winter sports season, so we appreciate Grant and the folks over at DCIs. They have been a big supporter of DC Blitz, as also is Ranger Brake, and they're one of our brand new sponsors this week. We appreciate them as they are huge supporters of DeKalb County athletics, and we appreciate them coming on board. And First Bank, Casey, you helped us barter that, and we appreciate First Bank, and I know they're big-time supporters of local athletics as well. So big thanks to all of our sponsors, DeKalb Title, First Bank, Holmes Group Incorporated, Love Cantrell Funeral Home, Ranger Brake, as we mentioned, Smithville First Baptist Church, Southern Landscape Supply, Town and Lake Realty and Auction. And we also want to thank Vitality Fit and Wild Honey Spray Tans. They took some of the shorter packages for the season, but they've been a big part of the success of the Blitz here in the first few weeks. All right, we're going to get off the field for, well, we're not really going to get off the field, I guess, because the band is a lot of times on the field, and they're a big part of what goes on in and around DeKalb County athletics. Mr. Max Patterson is the band director. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
You're doing great. It's good to have you with us. Now, you're the first-year band director, but you're not new to the program, right?
No. I started in the district about 3 years ago at the elementary schools, helped out here and there a few times to prep them for their competitions that year. And then last year I moved up as the assistant band director, got to work closely with them even more, and now I've moved up to the head band director position.
Talk about your background a little bit, kind of what got you interested, I guess, in music altogether to start with, and sort of walk us through how you got to DeKalb County and into this position.
Yeah, so I mean, as a kid, my dad was very into music, classic rock, stuff like that. And then I have an older sister who was a part of the band program at Walker Valley High School where I grew up in, and so I got interested in that, saw a halftime show there and thought that's really cool, I want to do that. So when I got to middle school in the Bradley County school system, Southeast Tennessee, joined, tried a bunch of different instruments, landed on percussion or drums, went up through there, got to high school band, played tenors, which are really big, like I think 4 to 6 drums at a time, did that for 8 years, all 4 years of high school, all 4 years of college, where I went to Tennessee Tech. Majored in music education because I just fell in love with band. I wanted to teach kids that. I wanted to show them the world of music and how it can just open up so many opportunities for them. Made a lot of friends in the Cookeville area, and I had a few guys that were like, hey, if you can find a school system within a solid commute. We got an open room, some cheap rent for you, and so I did my digging, found DeKalb, and I just fell in love with the county, fell in love with the system, loved being around this area and working in this area, and just going to be here for a while.
Do you find that a lot of younger people in this area have an interest in music?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of like starting at the elementary school system and like showing the different joys of music, whether it's like the pop music that you listen to, church music, country music, classic rock, anything, even like the marching arts. A lot of kids have responded well to it. And so like with me now being in the head band director position, the 6th grade band has really exploded.
Yeah.
And we have a huge enrollment, and it's going to really grow back the band to what it used to be years ago.
I guess this is kind of a crazy question, but this would have been me. Do you ever get that kid that has never played any kind of instrument whatsoever? And how do you kind of start them off into, learning what you need for them to do and learning music in general?
I mean, one of the main like responses I get with students, and I'm like, hey, just join band. They're like, I don't know how to play an instrument, I don't know how to do music. And I'm like, hey, that's part of the process. Like, come join. I'll teach you how to read the music. We'll go step by step. I'll teach you how to play an instrument. We'll figure out what works best for you, because like not everybody's body can play every instrument, and so we got to like kind of trial by fire, figure out what's going to work best for them, and then just go slowly, like step by step, slowly add more complex ideas here and there, and really just like kind of avalanche them into like more complex ideas and playing.
Yeah. Now, Casey, I'm going to turn some of this over to him because he was a member of the DeKalb County High School Fighting Tiger Band back in his high school days. I won't say when, Casey. We won't give away your age. But I know you can relate more on a level because you've been part of this before.
Yeah. So wonderful to have you here, by the way. We kind of inherited a small high school band. When you got here, what did you when you took over and you saw the size of the band, what was your thoughts and goals for that?
Just the huge potential. I knew that there were kids that said they always wanted to do it. They've got friends, like the kids sitting here now, they say they have friends that are interested in doing it and just don't know how. And I'm like, tell them, come on. Like, I'll give them like a tambourine, check a tambourine. Like, we can start as small as possible, and we can just grow this into something bigger than it is.
So how many members are in the horns and woodwinds this year in
Currently, the marching band's sitting at 37 members. We got about 7 guard, I think 4 or 5 percussion, and then the rest are like woodwinds and brass.
So ideally, what would you like to grow that to?
I mean, whatever it can reach. I mean, where I went to high school, we were hitting 250 plus members every year. I think now they're even sitting around 300. But like, there's the potential for it. I think right now, middle school and the West School alone, we have 50 members. So, I mean, next year we could push 70, maybe even 80 if I can get some other high schoolers to join as well.
So, the middle school and the West School, is that something that you started really focusing on since you've taken over to, kind of the junior league of what's coming? 6 through 8, is that what you're looking at? Okay.
I mean, I don't know if focus is really the best word. I mean, I'm trying to put a little love into all the areas, but I definitely think that growing the younger generation can really help. And so, I mean, at the start of the semester, I think I had maybe like 1 to 4 kids in each of my classes, and now I'm sitting, I think my biggest class has about 17. And so really like just getting the kids involved, showing them how to play an instrument. You can do this even if you're struggling in certain aspects. Maybe note recognition isn't your best thing. Maybe if you're playing a brass instrument, hitting the right notes, since all the vibrations coming from your lips is your struggle. If we take this slowly, you can be successful. And it's one of those things where, I mean, like the young generation, it's such like instant gratification. Like they can look up anything on their phone, it's instantly there, and they gotta slowly realize music is something I have to put a lot of effort into, slowly get to where I want to be before I start seeing the gratification that I want.
So your show this year, what's it titled?
It's called Weathering the Storm.
I think all of us old timers appreciate that music selection that you've picked out this year. It's really entertaining. How did you come about that? When did you decide, or was that something that it had already been kind of talked about and put in place before you took over this year, or did you pick that out and kind of roll
it
with
was something my assistant director and I had talked about. There was a show in place, but the skill level we thought it was a little bit too difficult for the kids to pull off this year, and maybe like be a little bit demoralizing if they couldn't hit the marks that they themselves wanted to hold to. Because I think, if anything, I mean, I have my standards and expectations, but they probably beat themselves up more if they like don't hit certain notes, don't do as well. And so Miss Hannah Bratton and I, my assistant band director, we came up with a few ideas. We pitched it to our seniors and our section leaders. We're like, hey, there's a few ideas. Like, we're rattling around what sounds best to you. And typically when we take that approach, we want not only the crowd to recognize the song, we want the kids to know those songs too, because it helps them with learning the music, because it's easier to know, like, this is what it's supposed to sound like. Right. I can sound like that too. And so they loved the idea of Weathering the Storm, and that's just, we hit the ground running with it. A lot of fun.
So you went to a competition, was it last weekend?
Yes, sir, this past Saturday.
Tell us about what happened down there.
I mean, it was a great showing. I know the kids they've been beating themselves up and struggling hard. And so going to Cumberland County High School for the Jet Pride marching competition, there were a lot of good bands there. In other high schools just working as hard as they are. But the kids really showed out. It was one of their best performances they've had to date. And, I mean, it paid off. They scored really well. Color Guard won first in our class over 5 other high schools. And so the kids really got to see the payoff this past Saturday.
That's awesome, man. I had been reading about that, and y'all had a great showing. How many competitions have you been in so far?
So far 3.
Okay.
We've got one left this season. It's going to be on the 26th in Saudi Daisy. It's the Trojan Marching Invitational or something along those lines. But there's going to be a lot of bands there and a lot of good opportunities for the kids to see other hardworking bands and see what they could do.
We've got 3 members of the high school band with us. We've got junior Jay Bayer, who's with us, and senior Jaden Wiles and senior Crizzy White. Jay, let's start with you. What part of the band are you?
I am in the percussion section.
Okay.
I am co-section leader along with J.D. Thomas.
Okay. Being a co-section leader, kind of walk us through what your responsibilities are.
I'm in charge of helping the kids make sure that they know what they're learning and making sure that everybody's on the right track. And I'm trying to just make things run as smoothly as possible.
Is that difficult?
Not really. Most of them the kids are pretty cool. They're nice.
How long have you been in band?
This is my 2nd year.
So what was the hardest thing maybe for you to pick up?
Just marching. Marching's like, especially on time and while playing, is really difficult. And like keeping time, depending on like changing tempo, and that's pretty difficult.
How long does it take to kind of get all that down, the marching, knowing your spots, things like that? Does it take quite a while, or does it come to you pretty easy?
It just depends on how much, like how badly you want to know how. Like if you're really dedicated, you'll learn it quickly than if you just don't really care.
Football Friday nights, the band is there, playing. How much do you enjoy that atmosphere?
I love the football games. They're my favorite part. Pep band is the best part to me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you like that better than the competition part?
Yes, I'm going to be so honest. I really do.
Is it more laid back, I guess? Yeah,
it's just you get to cheer on the team, and the cheerleaders are out there doing their stuff, and the football team's playing, and you get to pep them up with the music. It's really fun.
Now, you all do some synchronization with the cheerleaders, right? On some of their routines. How does that work in a rehearsal, maybe in a rehearsal setting with them? Is that pretty time consuming?
No, because I mean they have to do their own separate things.
Yeah.
But they will come in sometimes, and we'll play our pep tunes, and they'll figure out what kind of dances they want to do and their cheer routines. It's not too bad.
Okay, awesome. Let's go down to Jaden. Jaden is a senior. Jaden, how long have you been part of the band?
I've been in the band for 6 years.
So you started at basically, I say middle school, I guess, right?
Yes.
What got you interested in it to start with?
Well, I remember that our music teacher at the time, Mr. Hollis, brought a trumpet into the music class, and I was one of the only students who could actually play it.
Yeah.
And he recommended me to our band director at the time, Mr. Luna, who convinced me to come in, join band, start playing an instrument. And at the time, it was very nerve-wracking because it's no secret that a lot of people make fun of band kids and the band program, especially in middle school, because those kids are cruel.
I've seen it. I know what you mean.
So there was a lot of nerves about it, but eventually I got better and better, and it made it really fun.
Now, you knew already how to play the instrument. So had you been learning how to play growing up? Did your family have maybe a musical background?
Not necessarily. A lot of my family was heavy into sports. They were into like wrestling and football, and I am the first in like I think, like 2 or 3 generations to actually do band and music.
So were you pretty much self-taught then as far as learning?
Pretty much.
Who are some of your influences, maybe in terms of music?
In terms of music, I never really, like, the only music that I ever listened to was the stuff that my parents would play in the car, which was a lot of, like, rock, like, metal, stuff like that. So as far as instruments like trumpet and, like, brass and orchestral music, I didn't get into a lot of that until, like, my later high school.
In competitions, are there a lot of nerves going in, or you just pretty much go out there knowing what you're going to do and just go execute it?
For a lot of people, there are nerves, but I've been in it for so long that it's a little bit less nerve-wracking for me.
Doesn't really bother you anymore?
Not really.
It's funny, to this day, I still have dreams of marching out onto the field and getting to that first set and thinking, I totally forgot what I'm supposed to do, where I'm going to go. To this day. Yeah, that's been 30 years almost. So, yeah.
Let's go down to the end, and we'll share a headset with Crizzy White, another senior on the DeKalb County Band. And Crizzy, how long have you been part of band in DeKalb County?
This will be my 3rd year.
Your 3rd year. So what got you interested in band?
I did dance for 6 years, and we didn't have a dance team at the time, so I just decided to see where color guard would take me.
Sure. So you're a member of the color guard?
Yes.
What's one of the most difficult aspects of color guard? Because there's a lot of choreography that goes into that. What's the hardest thing maybe to pick up on? Is it the timing, or, I mean, I've seen it, but how does it kind of work when you're learning these routines?
Yeah, timing is a very big thing that we still sometimes struggle on, but we are improving a lot really fast. Really proud of everybody. And certain motions, because I write most of the dance work, and you have to, like, see how people can do certain movements and who can't. And you have to adjust what you're doing for each specific person to make sure that it's even all around and everybody can do it.
You said something that intrigued me. You write the movements. How does that work? What goes into that? Is it like a step-by-step for each member that you have to kind of, I guess, map out for them, for each person that's in the color guard?
Yeah, since I've been, like, around all of the members in the guard now, I know now what their limits are. And so I have to come up with dances and think, oh, this person has this problem, this person has this problem. And so I just have to change it and tweak it to make sure that it's fair for everybody and everybody's able to do it.
Do you guys have an assistant that helps with just color guard? Or?
Yes, we have 2 different people. Shannon Johns is the person who normally is the head over it, and then Eli Martin, who is an alumni who has done some DCI work or Jump Corps International work and comes in and helps as well.
Well, I'll interject.
You
here.
go right ahead.
Listen, I think you're using some of the flags that we used when I was in high school. So
no, the malts have eaten those by now.
Well, I'll tell you, the color guard is really what brings it all together. You have the sound, obviously, that comes from the band itself, but what the color guard does is tell the story, essentially, of what the music is trying to speak. And so, you know, when you're out there, you know, doing your routine, you say you've kind of helped come up with that routine. You have to be totally familiar with what the music is and how the music's flowing. You know, as the leader of the color guard, what message is it you're teaching your girls to, you know, to what show are you trying to portray through this show? Talking about the show this year. Don't mess up. Is that what it is? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, don't drop it.
It's just, even if you do mess up, it's okay, because I can promise you at least one person also messed up. And usually if people are like, oh, I can't believe I dropped this, like, I'll talk to them like, I don't think you understand. Like, that was very minimum. You recovered quickly. You got straight back in. I have messed up so bad that I was shocked by how bad it was, and I completely stopped for a few seconds. And that is not something that you're supposed to do at all. So I just like, hey, sure, you might have dropped, but I can guarantee you no one noticed.
Yeah. How you hide a mistake is the key to it. Yeah.
Be confident in your mistakes. Like, yeah, you messed up, but also nobody knows what you're supposed to do. Have a little solo moment. It's okay.
Absolutely. Well, I know there's a lot of work that goes into it. I've been around music, love music, and I always appreciate the band because there are so many nuances that go in it. Thank you all for what you do, and it livens the atmosphere on a Friday night. Pep band at basketball games, people may not appreciate it as much as they should, but Casey, yourself, we've covered a lot of sports. It just brings a lot of great atmosphere to any sporting event that they're at.
I'm very aware of it. I can tell you. I look for that at the football games. My thing is that first time that y'all play the national anthem, I'm standing there judging you because I want to know how it's going to sound. So you did fine this year, by the way. You got to get more low brass. I was a trombone.
I'm trying.
We cannot have this, okay? You have to have more low brass.
I'm trying. I think the numbers right now, I've got one kid at the West School that's really doing good on tuba. I've got 4 baritones. I think 5 or 6 trombone players. So we're trying to get there.
Well, I'll just be fair with you. When people ask me, they know was in the band. They ask me how you tell if a band is good. I always tell them count the tubas.
I think I would love to have played tuba. I wouldn't want to carry it around, but I think I would love to play it. Mr. Patterson, thank you, students. We appreciate y'all coming out. Good luck in your last competition. And what about concerts? You got any concerts that are going to be coming up this year?
We do have a Christmas concert. I'm trying to work with Mr. Gully, our choir director, because I know he wants to do a couple of joint pieces.
Sure.
And I think currently the 2 dates we're looking at is either December 5th or December 12th, probably leaning towards that 12th so we can get an extra week of rehearsals. And then normally we do have a spring concert as well towards the end of the semester.
Well, definitely let us know, and we'll publicize it on the Blitz. And we're looking forward to that coming up in December. And again, best of wish in the rest of competition season. And hey, 2 more home football games too. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Max Patterson, members of the DeKalb County High School Fighting Tiger Band. I'm going to throw a curveball at Daniel. He's probably not expecting another break, but we're going to squeeze in another break here. Bring the crew back to shut it down. This is DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Teamwork, accountability, honesty, showing respect, dependability. These are all qualities that I began learning as an athlete growing up in DeKalb County. Hi, this is Tennessee Assistant Golf Coach Payne Denman. Whenever you're looking for a teammate that has your back, look no farther than my friend Grant James and the team at DeKalb County Insurance. They can help out with all your business, auto, home, life, or Medicare insurance needs. Give them a call today at 615-597-0660 or visit them at www.decabinsurance.net. Tell them I sent you, and as always, go Vols.
When closing on a new home or piece of property, you want the process to be as smooth as possible. For almost 20 years, DeKalb Title LLC has been helping new property owners in Smithville and DeKalb County through that process promptly and efficiently. As your trusted title expert and closing company, they believe buying or selling real estate should be a joyous occasion, and their team does everything possible to keep it that way. DeKalb Title works to make sure your transaction gets to the closing table and your new property is secure for years to come. Let DeKalb Title help you close and protect your residential, commercial, or new construction transaction today. Call 615-597-2303 or visit them online at DeKalbTitle.com.
At First Bank, when our customers bank local, they get more. More empowered. More informed. Local banking gets them closer to their goals and dreams because they work directly with bankers who know them. With less layers and more personal connection. We're a local bank brand that goes the distance to get customers where they want to be. Which is why we got into banking in the first place. Stop by First Bank at 200 West Main Street in downtown Smithville, or give us a call at 615-597-4366. First Bank. Bank local. Get more.
Tennessee Fleet provides automotive sales and installation of equipment, lighting, vinyl, graphics, accessories, and more. Some of our services include sales and installation of vehicle graphics and decals, car audio, custom wheels and tires, storefront window wraps, fleet and commercial equipment, car, boat, and ATV accessories. Learn more about the services offered at Tennessee Fleet by visiting our website, TennesseeFleet.com, or give us a call at 615-597-6287.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding comfort in the time of sudden loss, we're here to support you every step of the way. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Bad Boy tractors are born from the legendary Bad Boy mowers from 20 to 35 horsepower. Subcompact to midsize, Bad Boy combines power, performance, comfort, and as always, builds strength to deliver the workhorse dependability you need to get the job done and done right. Homeowner, landscaper, or rancher, there's a Bad Boy tractor for you to work with an attitude. Find your Big Boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
Looking for the perfect property? Town and Lake Realty and Auction is your #1 choice when it comes to DeKalb County real estate. Specializing in lakefront properties, land, and residential real estate, we offer both traditional real estate services and innovative online, live, and simulcast auctions. With over $250 million in closed volume, we're the largest locally owned brokerage firm in the area, providing superior resources, advertising, and expertise. For the best in real estate, trust Town and Lake Realty and Auction to deliver exceptional results. Discover the difference today by visiting townandlake.com or calling 615-215-7653.
Final segment of DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Tom, Kelly, Coach, and Casey back to wrap it up. A couple things I want to touch on. We didn't get a real chance to talk about in the first segment. DeKalb County Lady Tigers soccer team wrapped up their season this past week at the district tournament. They blanked White County in the quarterfinals 2-0 and had a 2-2 tie with Stone Memorial at the half in the semifinal game at Livingston Academy. Stone able to get a second-half goal to win it 3-2. Coach, you and I talked to Coach LePeric last week, and he was talking about, how far his team is going to come this year. Boy, they battled against Stone Memorial. I thought they had a good chance to win that match, and they finished strong. You bow out in the semifinals, but I think they got a lot of players coming back. And, of course, we had the middle school last year, and 14 of those young ladies are going to be moving up.
Yes, and Coach Noakes touched on that Coach LePeric is going to have the opportunity to scrimmage within himself with more numbers. And so that's going to help and pay dividends on many different levels. But then you go back and you look at this team, and once you get into tournament play, any type of tournament play, and then it's a one and you're done. And that's where they were. So to go in after halftime at 2-2, and then every moment from then on is just so tense. And if the ball's on your end of the field, and they're pressing your defense and your goalkeeper, then as a parent and a fan, you're like, let's clear it, let's get it on the other end of the field, let's just keep it down there for a while. So just very tense and stressful, and to give up that goal in the second half, then your mind switches to, okay, let's press the ball forward and let's try to get that equalizer and do what we have to do. Just came up a little bit short this year, but a successful season. Don't look at the record overall, look at the record within the region and what they did in the tournament. I think with what he has coming back, of course, the freshmen are going to have a learning curve. But, next year, too, I think it's going to be exciting anyway with all the young players coming up. But with what he's got coming back, I think the future looks great for this Lady Tiger soccer program.
DeKalb Junior Pro, about a couple of minutes ago, they kicked off the Super Bowl over in Crossville at Cumberland County High School. Casey, those junior Tigers have been steamrolling, and I think this is the third year in a row that they played Fentress County for the championship. I believe it was a year ago or 2 years ago. It came down to double overtime, basically. So these two groups know each other pretty well. And Coach Cole Parsley, and I've been communicating with him this week. They're excited, and I hope they're going to bring home some hardware and join us on the show next week, by the way.
Well, mark it down. They're going to win this game today. I'm going out. I'm telling you, they're going to be your Super Bowl champions this year. That team is too talented. It's too well coached. It has too many athletes. They're bringing home the hardware.
Well, I was going to ask you what was special about it, but you seem to hit on all the high points there. So, but it does look like a team when you go back and you look at the scores throughout their season. You know, they've shut out their last three opponents. I mean, that just says a whole lot, I think, about how good this team is, and they can put points up. So, I mean, they look like an overall very good, balanced team.
They are a very good team, both offensively and defensively. They're a team that's different from what we've seen junior pro teams here and even middle school teams here in the past be. They have some size. Actually, they have the biggest kid in the district on their team, and he imposes his will on the other offensive and defensive lines. And so they get behind him and run for days.
We wish them the best, and we're expecting victory. Like I said, they're invited, and I think they're planning on being on the show with us next week and bringing that big trophy. We've seen a lot of big trophies already this year. Yeah, we picked a good time to get this show started because we've got a lot of great teams this year.
I brought that up last week.
Yeah.
You picked a great time to start this off, and the success, it's across the board.
You know, there's so many sports that sometimes things get overlooked, and DeKalb County High School and Middle School both actually have a fishing team, Kelly.
Yes, they do.
Want to mention the members of the high school fishing team. They include Mason Taylor, Wesley Kent, Kaylee Kent, Carly Thomas, Tyler Dunn, is it Rowan Miller, Braden Mangan, Bill Stanton, Justin
Kecke.
Oh, I said Justine. I'm sorry, Justin. Justin Kecke. Okay,
Kecke.
Thank you. Colby Slager, Jacob Johnson, Slade Bennett. We need to reach out to them and get them. What do you know about you? You were giving me a little info on the fishing team, Kelly.
So they're not fishing this weekend. I talked to Beth earlier. I know Wesley. I kind of keep up with Wesley because he was one of my kids from the West School. I know last year. Oh my gosh, his name just went Jackson Humphreys. There you go. He signed a scholarship with Bryant, so he's Bryan College. He's actually fishing for them. It's become a huge sport. My son is actually on the junior high team. They have a competition next Saturday. I'm still trying to work out. I plan on being here.
Wait, we're going on the road.
We're
going to be in a houseboat.
We can.
Hey, I like that outfit. I like that idea.
Well, let me tell you about junior high fishing has been an experience because you can. There's no. You have to have a boat. It can be a pontoon boat. It can be.
I got a kayak.
A paddle boat?
Now,
John boat.
I think it has to have a motor on it.
Oh, I'm the motor on my kayak.
But well, you gotta have an adult with you. The junior high.
What are you saying, Kelly?
The junior high has to have an adult. They have to have a captain, an adult with them. Now, high school they can go out, just the high schoolers because they are old enough to be out on the lake by themselves. But junior high, and it is fierce because last year my son and Grady Thomason fished together, and so Nathan took them out. I think Nathan is the junior high coach this year. But I think there's actually kind of two junior high teams. You fish trails. We're fishing a Bass Master. Another group of kids, Kanan Humphreys and Turner Stanley are actually fishing.
I love watching you struggle.
I know. I mean, I'm sorry.
She can't remember names and I can't pronounce them. So we're a great duo over here.
I want to say this correctly because when we're in church and we're live. They're fishing MLF, this weekend, and that's major league fishing, and that's a whole different trail. So I have learned a lot. My son would come on, they would not have weigh-ins, and I'm like, well, I thought you sent me pictures that you had caught some stuff. He's like, yeah, but he's like, that one was too big. You have slots that you have to catch stuff in. It's very hard to fish this because they go out about 4 o'clock in the morning. They fish till about lunch. Sometimes they extend it to 1 o'clock, and you may catch 20 fish and none of them are keepers because they have to fit in these 2 slots that they're fishing in. And so I know Wesley and Mason have been really putting in the time to do this, putting in a lot of pre-fishing. I know Wesley got a job down at the boat docks and bought himself a boat. I mean, there's a lot to it. And a lot of the kids that do this are actually kind of they're homeschooled because you got to have that time to go out and pre-fish. Because Maddox has already asked me, he's like, "Can I miss school to go pre-fish?"
Pre-fish? It reminds me of pre-season to pre-fish.
Well, you have to go out, and my son's not on one of these boats, but like some of these boats cost more than my house, and they've got all these electronics and everything. So It's a
big deal. I actually had a radio show up in Livingston a couple of years ago and talked to. They have a pretty competitive program.
Pickett County's huge.
Yeah, and I learned quite a bit about it. And before that, I had no idea there was even fishing on the school level. But it is very competitive, and I believe it's year round. It's not like between this month and that month. That goes all year long.
I think it stops around November, and you have like November to February off, and then it starts back up again because we actually had to miss. It was a rain out. We weren't supposed to play baseball that day, and I actually let him miss a baseball game. Sorry, Coach Odom. I let him miss it because it was important. They were in the top. They finished in the top 10 last year. Him and Grady finished in the top 10 on their trail, and so if they would have finished in the top 5, which meant if they'd have caught 2 fish, they would have went and fished state. But they didn't. They only caught 1.
All right. So we need to get them on the show.
Yeah.
We'll have to work on that. And you will get to host that segment because you've got this fishing stuff down.
No, I don't, but I know how to ask questions.
By the way, it's fall break this upcoming week, and I was making up the schedule of games for this upcoming week to post on our Facebook page. There are no games this week.
There are none.
There are no games involving DeKalb County school teams. If there are, then we don't know about them, and I think everybody's taking a week off, and probably needed. I'd say.
Yes. Very
After
much.
9 weeks of school, and so a break for them, but not a break for us. We do plan on being back next Saturday. We'll get the guest list out.
On the lake.
On the lake?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a
On
good
the
idea.
lake.
It'll probably be snowing next week. But
Oh, my gosh.
yeah, poor Kelly. She'll look like the kid on the Christmas Story
Yes,
if
yes, I
we're
will.
out by the water.
We
so.
decided to go camping this week. We're leaving tomorrow, and pick Defeated Creek because it's paradise. I don't know if you've been down there or not. But you kids can swim, and that's our thing. Is we want to. Oh, by the way, hi, John Casey. I'm supposed to say hi. He's our biggest fan.
All
morning.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
so
good.
he watches every time.
I was going to say last word shout out as we wrap up. So
that's my last word. So.
Okay.
Anyway, so we were, pick Defeated Creek. We're going to swim. Yeah, it's supposed to be like 30 something. High of like 58. Perfect
time. Well, the water temperature won't drop for a little bit. So, Coach.
Hey, just glad to be here another weekend, and looking forward to what we have next week and upcoming.
All right, Kelly.
I don't know anything. I'm just here.
You want to sing Rocky Top before we go?
No, I do not. I want to sing Rocky Top.
Go through that fishing team's names again. I'd like to hear that.
I'm the one that messed that up. Let's not go through that again.
No, I just want her to recall all the people in fishing.
Well, we do want to.
I don't even know all the kids on the junior high team right now.
We do want to thank everybody for watching. By the way, I want to shout out our producer, Daniel. He's got all kinds of new bells and whistles. We got a little crawl thing going across the bottom of the screen there with all kinds of information. He comes in just excited every week with something
These
new.
boys and their toys.
We love it. I love it. I mean, I'm a nerd when it comes to stuff like that. So he's really made us look better.
Legitimate, I think's the word.
Legitimate. But we appreciate all the hard work he does behind the scenes. And we hope to get Stephen Jennings on at some point. And I've already told him he's going to have to be a guest co-host for that because, of course, he's assistant baseball coach and loves baseball. So we're going to work on that as well. Folks, thank you for joining us for another edition of DC Blitz. Thanks to our sponsors and for everyone out there. We'll be back next Saturday and try it again. For Casey, for Coach, for Kelly, I'm Tom Duggan. We'll see you next time on DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.